back to Four Faces. Today we're going to talk about a type of topic that's very sensitive to most people. I mean, really sensitive. We're going to talk about this word transgender, transable, trans, etc. I mean, this is interesting to talk about this because a lot of people don't want to talk about the facts and the things that happen. Now, this is going to be different, very different. My perspective of this is different than most. And it's not coming from a point or position where I'm here to criticize or put down, but speak the facts. And that's what we do here on Four Faces, is that we look at solutions rather than just criticize all day. But think about this. I just to take a step back for a moment, because I want to show you the place where I'm coming from before I even come there, right? So think of it. I used to do medical. I used to study medicine, and this was one of the books that we used to look at. Now, this book is expensive. It's called Atlas of Human Anatomy. And most of you out there who's in the medical field, you know exactly what this book is. Nada, he's one of the best when it comes to this. Just to show you a little bit inside, tells you all the human parts and anatomy and veins and vessels. And it breaks everything down in very good, clear, decisive detail. Now, I show you that to show you that the perspective I'm coming from is more from a medical point of view. And I say that because I believe that if you say that you're transgender or you're transable or trans eccentric, I just believe that we need to find out why is that? Why is that from a medical perspective? And I'm going to show you exactly, I'm going to talk about, I should say exactly what I'm talking about. Think about this. People that are transgender, they feel that, well, they was born a man, but they should be a woman. And vice versa. They was born a woman, they should be a man, right? Right? That's one side of it. Then you got the transable, which is saying, well, you know what? I was born with my arm, but I don't need this arm. This one arm shouldn't be there, right? And you've probably seen the videos out there years ago where Dr. Phil came on and this lady literally blinded herself. Like, she literally blinded herself because she felt she was born with sight and she shouldn't have been born with sight. So she felt like, keyword, I felt like I should not be born with sight. So she got rid of her vision. It was, to me, it's horrible, it's horrendous. And you can check that out on Dr. Phil. It came out years ago. But I say that to say this. Why aren't we looking at the medical reasons on why these things happen, on why people feel the way they feel? You can't say, well, it's religious-wise or Bible-wise, because as we all know, there's nothing new. There's nothing in the Bible that suggests that being gay, being lesbian, LGBTQ is okay. There's nothing in the Bible that says that, whether you're talking about the Old Testament or the New Testament. Now, I know people are going to be offended by it, but listen, the facts are the facts, right? I'm not coming at you. I'm just giving you the facts, right? So with that being said, there's also nothing in the Bible that says, well, transable is okay too. There's nothing there that says go ahead and manipulate your body. That doesn't exist neither. Nor trans-eccentric. Now, trans-eccentric is everything after, right? Some people feel that they should be a dog, an animal. Believe it or not, there are people that feel that way. There's people that feel different types of ways. But key word, once again, is feeling a certain way. So why do this happen? Well, there's psychological components and there are medical components. There are chemical imbalances that can cause these things to happen. And what I'm saying is that we need to address those issues. But hold up. What's happening? People don't want to talk about that because at one time there was a lot more study going on about these different types of mental conditions or mental thoughts or exceptions. What happened is with our society is that, here's the thing, we always coming at people, criticizing, putting them down, disputing them, calling them names, bullying them. Why? Why? Because of our own insecurities, our own beliefs that if we accept this, it's going to become the norm. What we should have been doing, and I think hopefully it's not too late, hopefully, is find out what medically is occurring that making people feel the way they feel. And now, there could be enormous research out there right now, But that research has come to a standstill. It has come to a point where probably no one's really looking into it no more. Because I'm going to prove my point. A lot of doctors are now doing what? I have people in the medical field now, and they tell me they go to the doctor and they do hormone therapy. Basically, they injecting them with the hormones necessary for them to complete their transformation. They even go as far as do some bodily changes. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to be too explicit. But the point is that this is happening in the medical field. Why? Because the medical field has basically given up on finding out the reasoning why. They've given up. They really have. The medical field, I'm going to tell you the truth, they have let people down, because instead of them continuing the research on it, they choose to become the acceptance of it all. Because why? And it's always going to be the same reason every single time. Money. M-O-N-E-Y. Money. It's as simple as that. There's a lot more money now being made from people changing their sex. There's a lot more money being made for therapists. I mean, it's out of control. So the question becomes, why would they look into it now? There's really no incentive. There's really no incentive for people in the medical field to really look into this now. Now, hold up. You might be saying, oh my gosh, what is happening here? What is happening here, and what I'm trying to explain, is if we never came to a point in time where we would criticize and brutal people and put them down and bully them and all that other nonsense, if we never done that, and if we would have took this from a more of a understanding point of view, a point of view is seeing things from different perspective, different eyes, if we would have done that and had a more of a caring heart, I really truly believe that all of this would have came to a more of a clearer conclusion, a clearer understanding. But instead, everybody is stuck in their position and they don't want to budge. They don't want to see any other reason. They do not want to see the medical reason or the psychological reason. Because let's keep this in mind. Outside of the medical reasons, right? And that usually you can tell if it's medical because, they usually start off as a child. And they say, well, I don't feel I should be, for example, I don't feel like I should be, I'm born a boy, but I don't feel like I should be a boy, right? Like Will Smith and some of other stars out there and people as well, right? They feel they shouldn't be that sex, right? That's usually, especially when at that young, super young age, that's more likely could be, like I said, a medical imbalance going on there, some type of hormonal imbalance, right? But there's the other side of a psychological aspect, and that's when, very simple, that happens when a person goes through different types of mental trauma. And I've met people like this, so it's not my opinion. And you can ask others out there, they'll tell you the same thing. Like they might have been incarcerated, right? And then they had no choice but to go on that side, right? To change their beliefs and their system of what they believe and what they was born as, right? And there's others that might be traumatized by relationships. Those are psychological reasons, right? So no one wants to really address that because it's to the point now where everybody, once again, and let me tell you something. Think about this for a second. Be honest with yourself. Ask some people why did they change their identity? And they'll tell you, some people will be honest with you. And I've had people be really honest with me. They'll say, well, I was in this situation. I was in a bad relationship. It didn't work out. And they have what? What happens to them? They feel, well, that sex, that particular opposite sex, it just did not work for me. And they have this psychological disattachment from them. And that's just the honest truth of it all. With that being said, guys, this is Four Faces. I know some of you may be upset, but you need to stop coming out, bashing one another, and find out if there is a medical component attached to this or psychological component. And definitely there is. There's no shadow of a doubt there is. But the point I'm getting at is, if we don't stop working against each other, we will never find the true answers. Never find the true answers. With that being said, this is Four Faces. Please subscribe. We got a lot more to come towards your way. And you know what? We'll talk.